We are live. Great. All right. So I will begin the Park Board meeting of April 8th, 2021. We are doing this by WebEx. And just for attendance, since Pamela doesn't have her microphone working, Jennifer Ogden here, Bob Anderson, Garrett Jones, Greta Gilman, Hannah Kitts, Kevin Brownlee, Councilmember Cathcart, and all of you staff are wonderful, but it's just the Park Board members that we need for quorum. So we are still missing Nick Sumner, Rick Chase. Sally will join us later. Hopefully Barb will join us. And so we will begin. So any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to public comment, and I don't see any member of the public listed on the participants. So we will move on to the consent agenda items. You have in front of you 5 items. Is there anything people want to remove from the consent agenda before I move its approval? Hearing nothing, then I move that we approve all 5 items on the consent agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Bob. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye and wave.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Hannah, are you an aye? We need everybody to chime in.
Yes, I said aye.
Oh, good. Okay, I didn't hear you. Sorry. All right, thank you. Opposed?
Oh, no.
Opposed. Okay, great. The consent agenda passes, and we'll move on to Kelly Brown, who is here from Friends of Manitou today, and we're delighted to have her with us. I was telling her before the meeting started, I've been up there at Manitou Park watching the workers get ready for their plant sale, and it's exciting to see spring is happening there, even when it's snowing every place else.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's a pleasure to be here. I wish that it could be in person, but such is life. I'll just take a quick second to introduce myself to you. I'm somewhat new to Spokane. I moved here in late fall of 2015 and fell in love with Manitou Park right away, as I'm sure most people do when they move here. Different from Phoenix, Manitou Park is. Did some searching, wanted to volunteer at the park, came across the Friends of Manitou, got involved in various things along the way, was asked to join the board, was asked to be the vice president, and then surprise, in 2020, our president resigned a little bit early, so I jumped into the role approximately 2 years prior than I had anticipated. So with 2020 going the way it was, it's surprisingly been a little bit busy for me with different changes along the way. I'm going to attempt to share my presentation without having the full demo beforehand. Let's see. All right, let me know if this is working. Can you see my screen?
Happily, no.
Yeah, I can.
If you send it to somebody like either Pamela or Garrett, they can get it up there.
Okay, I believe if this didn't work, then Pamela said that she could go ahead and share it for me.
Okay.
So
Pamela is amazing. What would we do without her? Here it comes. Garrett, no other city department is allowed to steal Pamela from us. Just saying that.
And they've tried in the past, but we
I
got
know. No, we're going to keep her.
We're still just seeing a black screen, Pamela.
We are, but there's movement of a mouse. Whoops. Well, Kelly, do you want to say a few more? Whoops, there we go. Lovely. Perfect.
Well, my presentation is pretty short and sweet and to the point, and it's just a small recap of what the past year has been like for us. So I won't take up too much of your time. It's really exciting to be a part of this organization just because it's so evident that Manitou Park is so important to so many people. I'd say it's kind of part of the fabric of our civic pride here in Spokane. So it's been a real treat for me to be involved. I'm not sure if she's ready for me. Next slide. For those of you who are unfamiliar with our mission statement, our purpose is to conduct educational, volunteer, and fundraising activities that are responsive to the needs of the TFM membership and to participate in the responsible preservation and improvement of Manitou Park. And we accomplish this mission in cooperation with the city and its surrounding community. Collectively, since 1994, we've raised about $950,000 and contributed that towards park projects and improvements. So that's really exciting. Next slide. Some of the current projects that we have going on is a makeover to the pollinator garden, and then also some new bike racks for the park, which I say new, but apparently there are actually no bike racks in Manitou Park. So these bike racks were designed by Ken Spearing, who you might know most famously for the radio flyer wagon here in Spokane. And the design of these bike racks are tulips, which match the motif along the stairs going down into Duncan Garden. You know him also from the fish sculpture near the convention center. There's a sculpture on Division and Spokane Falls Boulevard, and one that I'm sure that you guys are all familiar with is another one inside City Hall. So we are hopeful that these two themes can be completed in 2021. Next slide. As everyone is aware who lives in Spokane, Muir Pond was renovated and completed in 2020. Our organization back in 2007 donated $50,000 towards this project, and then we donated another $41,000 in 2017 and $75,000 in 2020, and I believe there were other little donations along the way. So we were just really proud to be a small part of the campaign to get that renovated, and from the chatter I hear from neighbors, everyone's so happy to have that taken care of. Next slide. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot going on in 2020 in terms of themes that we were able to contribute to, but we were successful in having a modified plant sale. We usually have 2 sales, but we were happy to pull off one. We raised $46,882 at the sale, which surpassed a modified budget that we made after 2019. So we were surprised that we even surpassed that amount. We also were able to help enlist some of our members and volunteers to help inside Duncan Garden and the Rose Garden to help weed and kind of fill the gaps where there was needs for labor. We were really happy to be a part of that, and it sounds like we'll be able to do that again this year. At the beginning of the shutdowns, we did a little series on social media where we had community members submit their Manitou Park stories, and that was just our kind of way of creating unity and letting people share why Manitou Park was special to them, and we had a really positive response from that. So if you have time and you're interested, you can go back on our Facebook page and look through the past year and read people's stories. It was really kind of heartwarming to see that Manitou Park is so important to so many people, especially during the shutdowns. It became kind of a refuge for everybody. Next slide. This goes without saying. Our most proud accomplishment of 2020 was for sure the Enchanted Garden Holiday Lights drive-through. As a substitute for the traditional Geyser Conservatory holiday lights, we had so much fun working cooperatively with the Parks Department to bring some much-needed holiday cheer to an estimated 66,000 eyeballs. So I just did some Googling to see what the population of Spokane was, and it's something like 222,000 just in Spokane. So if you think of 66,000 people, that's a lot of Spokane people. It's 30%. And of course, that number comes from Spokane Valley and people who traveled far. But 30%, I'd say that was a wildly successful event. So that was very exciting for us. Next slide. We had some organizational changes, like I mentioned. Of course, a new president, which came with our new executive committee. We appointed 4 new board members, 2 of which were our corporate members, and we have one from Numerica and one from Washington Trust. We did this in hopes that they could help us with expanding our organization and doing some more fundraising. We had 2 changes in our office coordinator. Our lovely coordinator of 20 years retired, so we acquired a new coordinator over the summer, and sadly she moved to Florida. So we just recently hired a new office coordinator, and we are positive that they can help us in our moving forward in the 20th century and modernizing our organization a bit. Like I said, we have new board members, and with that comes many new ideas and goals, while still continuing our very popular plant sale. Next slide. Some of our 2021 goals are to develop and increase our fundraising capabilities, and this is going to be, our 2 new board members are going to be very useful in helping us do this. Continue to grow our positive and collaborative relationship with the Parks Department, which we've had so much fun doing over this past year. Of course, host another modified plant sale, which we already have planned. Like we've talked about, we have it scheduled for June, and it's going to run 2 different weekends. So that's exciting for us. And would like to build off the momentum of the holiday lights and increase our community recognition that way. And on the calendar so far for the summer is a first ever Manitou Park Art Festival, which we are working on right now. So that's all I have as our little recap for the past year. But thank you so much for your support. I hope to get to know you more and work with you in the future.
Well, in fact, Kelly, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I would like to take you out for coffee. We are going to start a Friends of Riverfront Park group, and I think that Friends of Manitou is the model in many ways for a successful Friends group. So you and I need to have coffee, and I'm sure that there may be other park board members like my vice president who would like to join. So anyway, let's make a date, and we'll go from there.
A very nice compliment, and I will share it with my board.
Also, I've had a question from a park board member about the swan statue. I think that was Vincent DeFelice. Do we know what the status of that is?
I actually don't. That might be a good question for somebody like Al or Garrett.
Garrett is raising his hand.
Well, 2 things. One, I wanted to make Kelly feel uncomfortable and just say a few words. And then second, Nick has been working with Vincent. Just recently, we have the site plan. I know a concrete contractor now is in place. The swans have been fabricated, so that'll be happening shortly. The other thing, too, I'd like to say is, Kelly is a rock star. The energy, the enthusiasm, the commitment, the ownership of Manitou Park. Just in the past year, the relationship that has grown between both organizations has gone tenfold. And a lot of that is because of the energy that Kelly brings to the organization. She was there every single night volunteering in the rain, snow, cold for the Manitou Lights. And again, it's all building on the momentum, but really want to thank Kelly for her commitment and energy. And we're really looking forward to the future. So thank you.
Thanks, Garrett.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, that's a terrific start to our meeting. So,
Kelly, Kelly, hello?
Go ahead.
Oh, hello. Oh, hi. Kelly, this is Rick. I just wanted to personally thank you again for everything you've done at Manitou. I know it was a great year trying to get everything together in a short time, and now I know you've already had your first meetings, and I'm looking forward to this year's light show. So once again, thank you.
Well, thanks for saying so. It was a very collaborative effort between everyone in the Parks Department and our organization.
Yes, indeed. Highly popular. All right. Anything else?
See, our resident expert, Nick, did he always has to add a little bit more detail than what I said. But so we'll have it by the end of May, before the end of May. So for the Swans up at Manitou, so that'll be
Oh,
great.
terrific. Terrific. He is our resident expert. All right, very good. So hearing nothing else, and I see some applause, Kelly, for you and all that sort of stuff on people's screens, we are going to move forward to the financial report and the budget update with Mark Buning.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Let me share my screen here. Okay, so we'll present the March financial report. It's hard to believe this is already the end of the first quarter this year. Time goes really fast, so we will take a high-level look at the finances of the Parks Department. All right, our first slide here, we see our actual expenditures compared to our historical budget based on our last 2 years. I mean, we see that our actuals are significantly below the budget. It's about 84% of the budget, which is almost exactly what it was last month. And note that the budget amount is based on 2019 and 2020. And for the same period last year, park activities were not shut down for COVID until the latter part of the month of March. And so therefore, this historical budget is going to reflect a bit of a higher number. Now that will even out as we move on. Looking at the second slide, we see here the actual revenues are below the historical average. And again, for many of the same reasons I just previously mentioned. Park activities were not shut down in 2019 and 2020. And although our activities this year are ramping up and our revenues are still being affected, obviously, by COVID. And also revenues are less than last year due to, one of the factors that's playing into the revenues less than last year is due to the timing of the general fund transfers, which are based upon our biweekly payroll schedule. So we had additional transfer last year, which we did not have this year. So, and then actually here we are moving on to slide 3. We see our actual first quarter revenues compared to our actual expenditures. And we ended March, or the first quarter, with $1.6 million of revenues over expenditures. And interestingly, this is nearly identical to the end of the first quarter of 2020. It was interesting, last year we had higher revenues and higher expenditures. This year we had somewhat lower revenues and lower expenditures than same period in 2020, but the net result was almost exactly the same. Are there any questions about the Park Fund before we take a look at the Golf Fund? All right, moving on to the Golf Fund. And we see in this slide that the Golf Fund expenditures slightly exceed the historical budget average. And again, this is due primarily to expenses incurred for repair of storm damage and some startup costs to prepare for the opening of the golf season. But they're within $20,000 of the budget. So that's still quite close. Looking at our revenues, however, we see that our first quarter revenues significantly exceed the historical budget average. We've had a great season so far, and the historical average actually was brought down somewhat by the cool spring and some COVID closures in last year in 2020. March 2021 revenues were approximately $100,000 greater than March of 2020, and the cumulative first quarter revenues were about $53,000 greater than the first quarter of 2020. And then here we see our comparison of year-to-date actual revenues to actual expenditures. And then overall revenues exceeded expenditures by approximately $200,000, and that is all revenue sources. Looking at just the facility improvement fee, in March, $70,000 was collected for that purpose compared to about $37,000 last year, reflecting, more rounds and being open more this year than last year. Are there any questions about the Golf Fund? All right, our last slide, we take a quick peek at the status of the bond fund. We see that we have expended through March 66.4 million with about 1.66 encumbered, leaving a budget balance of about $675,000. So that is, obviously we're wrapping up this project. And if there are any other questions or comments, that concludes the financial report.
Thank you, Mark. Park Board members, any questions for Mark? Well, I'm glad that we are wrapping up the bond and spending the money that we are supposed to be spending. So it's all being spent well. I think people will agree with that. Thank you, Mark. All right, we will move on.
Thank you.
We have no special discussion or action items, so we're going to move into our committee reports. And urban forestry was canceled in terms of the meeting, but Rick Chase, did you have anything to say?
No, nothing at all, except I just wanted to tell people that the Susie Stevens Trail is going to go out for bid this month sometime, and looking forward to getting that started, and hopefully her mom will get to take one of the first steps on it when it starts getting built.
Indeed, and that is in fact a donation from Nancy McCarrow in honor of her daughter Susie, who was killed, I think, about 5 years ago or maybe longer. And Nancy made a substantial contribution to urban forestry to ensure a successful and safe pedestrian and bicycle pathway there, linking the Arboretum and the Fish Lake Trail. So we look forward to seeing a portion of that get real. All right. The Golf Committee, Jerry Sperling. The meeting was canceled, but here's your chance.
Hi, Jennifer. Yes. Not due to anything that was not important. However, we had virtually the month before brought everything up to date. So by the looks of our budget that Mark just presented, you can see the golf is doing quite well. And hopefully Mother Nature will be on our side. And for the next few weeks, we'll have some sunshine. So encourage everybody to get out. Even if you're not a golfer, go out. The last I heard, Downriver is in a real contest with who can make the best
Oops, who can make the best what?
hamburger.
Oh.
The burger. Anyway, down at Downriver, Steve Connor brought in a special chef.
Ooh.
Now get this, and I've tasted it, and it really is worth your time and effort. So the other thing, too, junior golf, and Mark Poyer mentioned this in finance, we just have so many kids. I mean, it's a nice thing to have. It's a nice problem to have. But we have, I don't know how many kids. I think he said Indian Canyon, we're looking at around 130 to 150 kids. So, you take that, multiply it times 4, and golf is really on the upswing. We are going to be meeting then again, hopefully, in May, and that would be May 11th. And according to Barb Ritchie and her prediction, we are going to have live donuts, and we're going to hopefully not be at WebEx. So anyway, with that, golf is doing great. Thanks, Jennifer.
Did you see Garrett's face when we said we're meeting in person?
I did. Shut up.
He's like, Barb Ritchie?
Don't think you are.
I see that Barb Ritchie has also requested veggie burgers, so I think the challenge is on for the chefs.
Oh, my gosh.
So there we go.
Anyway,
Mark Poyer, better get that word out there.
There's never a dull moment with golf.
All right. It is a shining star for Parks and Rec, and thank you again, everybody who's involved, for making that such a success for us. Moving on to Land Committee. Greta Gilman, do you have anything to say? I know the meeting was canceled. This was the meeting
canceled. So nothing to report.
Okay.
Just wanted to say that I'm glad we're getting moving on the Parks and Natural Lands Master Plan.
Yes, indeed.
I'm looking forward to working with everyone on that and our consultant design workshop, and it should be a really wonderful tool for us to have when it gets completed.
Yes, indeed. About 10 years since the last master plan, and it's time we updated it. And I think the momentum that Parks has seen because of COVID and how important parks were really gives some added impetus to this Design Works collaboration with us on this. So we are looking forward to that.
Yes, and our next meeting is 3:30 p.m. on May 5th via WebEx.
Great. Thank you, Greta. Sally, anything to say for Recreation, which also did not meet?
Yes, that's correct. Recreation was canceled, but I do want to say our spring activity guide is out. And again, big thanks to the team for pulling together programming and aquatics and everything else. It's great to see everybody getting in the outdoors.
Indeed. And then I will report for Nick, who's not present here. Riverfront Park Committee did not meet, but John Moe did send out a recap. And John, did you want us to say anything about Riverfront Park? I know that there's a market happening.
There is a market, and thanks for inviting me to speak today. It's good to see you all. We just had our Riverfront Market yesterday. We had 1,200 people attend, so that's very exciting, and we're looking forward to having a second occurrence next week at the same place, same time. So we hope to see you all down there. Also, the carousel officially opened last month, so that's exciting. And just this weekend, we reopened roller skating and scooters in the park too. So we're seeing a lot of activity, and we're happy to see people come back down to the park.
So there are things to do in Riverfront Park, and always there is something to watch in terms of the progress that's being made down there. So I encourage everyone to come down to the Central Park of Spokane. It's really terrific. All right. Bob Anderson, here's your moment in the sun. You have a number of action items because finance got everything.
We probably had more fun than should be allowed, but we'll move on from there anyway. So we do have some action items, and we'll get started on that right away. The first one is the Spokane Parks Foundation MOU, and Fiona, take us away.
Fiona, we can see the thing, but we can't hear you yet. Sorry, the screen. Okay, well, we're seeing the first page of Fiona Dixon's screen, and this has to do with the updated MOU, the Parks Foundation. Fiona, can you unmute? I hope that fixes it. Oh, I started to hear you.
Yeah, I did too.
Sorry, folks, I'm having some technical difficulties here. My WebEx screen has disappeared, so I'm not quite sure. You're able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Maybe Pamela can advance the slides?
I can advance the slides. I've got control of that. Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
Well, we see the first page.
Great. Just going to walk you through an updated MOU with the Spokane Parks Foundation, go through just some quick background and an overview of what this new agreement looks like. So for many of you that are aware, Parks has a long-standing history of collaborating with the Spokane Parks Foundation, an independent 501c3 nonprofit, and most recently there were two separate yet related agreements. There was a fiscal sponsorship agreement and then a memorandum of understanding, and those agreements stood alone. And so when both agreements were expiring, we began to work to combine and update these. And just as a note, this proposed MOU is entirely separate from a standing Campaign for Riverfront Spokane agreement that we have with the campaign specifically for riverfront fundraising, and that expires November of 2022. So a brief overview of what this agreement means and what it looks like. It means that the Parks Department and the Spokane Parks Foundation will work both collaboratively and independently to solicit donations and recruit volunteers that benefit Parks and Recreation. The foundation will retain its customary administrative fee, and that will be set by its board. It's currently at 10% for donations, and unless it's specified under a separate agreement like the Campaign for Riverfront Spokane. The foundation will share a monthly financial report that details all of our city park fund balances that they hold, what those accounts are for, if they've been designated by a donor for a specific purpose. And then Parks will determine, subject of course to that donor intent, how to spend those general donations designated for Parks and Rec. As many of you know, a member of the Park Board is appointed to the Spokane Parks Foundation Board. That's currently Barb Ritchie, and this MOU would be effective until December of 2025. Let's talk briefly about what the changes are from this overview, or from this agreement and the last one. So this MOU, again, combines the FSA and the MOU into one document. We also moved the Parks Memorial Bench program to the Foundation for management and stewardship. This is a big change. This is something generally park operations did, but we really recognize the expertise of the Foundation to manage and steward those donor relationships, in hopes that, you know, a donor may come in looking for a bench and they purchase the bench, but maybe there's other interests that they have, and the Foundation could help connect them to other park projects. We also removed the 5% designated fee, and we allow the Spokane Parks Foundation to set their customary fee. This was very important to their board, and Terry is with us today if you have any questions related to this. But it does remove that designated fee and allow the Foundation to set their customary fee. To continue with a few other changes, minor housekeeping things, you know, it clarified reporting expectations for parties. We made the termination clauses the same. And then we added some appendices just to keep things clear, our donor naming policy that you approved as a board a couple of years ago, and then our city's social media policy, kind of some housekeeping things. Are there any questions that we can answer about this MOU?
Thank you, Fiona. Well done. Anybody have any questions or comments? Bob, I'll turn it back to you.
This is Hannah Kidd. I just wanted to say it sounds like you guys are doing a great job, and I had previously done a little bit of work on this, and I'm glad to hear that everything has been figured out, and I just wanted to say thank you for all the hard work you put in, and I'm excited that we have a good plan moving forward.
Thank you, Hannah. It was a great team effort, and that's a good reminder that this was an effort by many board members here, members of the board from the Foundation, and then staff and our legal team. So great minds coming together. Thank you.
Yes, Hannah kind of cut her teeth on the park board here, diving into that. We sure appreciate her work on that.
Yeah, it was within my first couple weeks of being a member, but I'm definitely enjoying it. So it's a good thing.
All right, if we have no further questions, then I will submit a motion that we approve the Spokane Parks Foundation Memorandum of Understanding as presented.
I would like to second that. This is Barb.
Well, thank you, Barb. Any further questions, comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? Then it passes. Thank you for the presentation, Fiona. And thanks everyone for their work with that. So our next action item will be for the North Bank Suspension Bridge. And Nick, I believe you're going to take us away to that one, please.
Sure thing, Bob. Thanks for having me. Should be seeing my screen come up here. Riverfront Park Suspension Bridge in the center. This is the construction contract for the renovation of the long-awaited renovation of the Riverfront Park Suspension Bridge. Of course, in the red box there, sort of right over the Spokane Falls, be the North Suspension Bridge. Just a quick reminder for folks that this was one of the projects in Riverfront Park Redevelopment Master Plan back in 2014. It was one of the second-tier projects there. One of the projects that wasn't funded, at least not fully by the bond, though the bond has allocated some funds toward this work, which we're very thankful for to be able to get it done. So it's one of those remaining bridge improvements and upgrades that are all lumped together. A brief history of what has been a little bit of a saga for this project. A study done in 2014 with all of the bridges, and the North Suspension Bridge was identified at that time as one of the more deteriorated facilities in the park. Of course, we've been working since about 2018 as staff to secure funding for this work. The bridge was closed about 2 years ago, almost exactly, in April, and worked again through the remainder of 2019 for funding. We're ready to go at the beginning of 2020 when we suspended all of our capital projects for COVID
and lack of funding as a result. And then are back here today. We're really excited to be back here today. We are actually here with a construction contract in hand and prepared to move forward with construction. So pending approval from the board, we are looking at a May of 2021 start for the bridge renovation contractor and looking to be complete by the year end. So I would say safely we'll be open for spring of 2022, if not slightly earlier. Project funding for this project is in total about a $3 million project. There's $1 million of city general fund monies that have been allocated to this project, about another $1 million in both local and state grants, and then about $1 million in park funds between the city park fund and the bond allocated toward this work. So it's about 2/3 of this has been funded by sources other than the Parks Department or Park Bond, which is pretty incredible. Certainly wouldn't be done without those partnerships. The construction bid itself is a value of $2.13 million. What you won't see on that contract, but what we are allocating in our Parks capital budget for this year is about $280,000 in contingency monies, a little bit more than 10% that we anticipate would be awarded at some point, or at least a portion of them would be awarded via change order as we get into the construction of this project. So I would expect no administrative reserve as a part of this base contract, but rather we'll bring forward a change order or change orders later on as we get into structural repair of the bridge and can see the parts and pieces of the bridge that we don't see when we're just designing on a piece of paper. There are other project costs which are not a part of this contract that I've itemized here down below. One thing to note, the engineering and inspection amendment is in your consent agenda. The Vista construction, of course, is a separate item today, and the construction management by the city is actually an interfund bill. We're going to work together with Barry Ellison as one of our primary contacts, of course, in parks, and we know and love Barry. But in addition to that, the City of Spokane Public Works Department is actually going to have hands on this project daily out on site, and they will be able to help us manage the construction and bill us accordingly. They can usually do that for about 8% of the project cost. We've identified 10% here. We expect we'll come in a little bit underneath that number, so we're hopefully being conservative with that number. That's my spiel on the project. We certainly hope that the board would be able to approve, or as staff, we recommend approval of this contract and are really excited to get forward, get going on construction. Any questions?
Nick, this is Bob. Would you mind touching on I thought the funding for this was incredibly creative, how we accomplished that. And the TIF funding, would you touch on that briefly, where that came from?
Yeah. So the initial grant was a Washington State Recreation Conservation Grant that we applied for as staff and received for $500,000. The West Quadrant TIF monies is actually a tax increment finance incentive area within the city of Spokane, and I can't remember when it exactly was established, but it's a lot of West Central Spokane. There is, including some of the North Bank of Riverfront Park and the Suspension Bridge are all within that area. And there is a separate committee at the City of Spokane. There's a citizen committee that recommends to City Council to award monies from a West Quadrant TIF toward projects. And this bridge, this North Suspension Bridge of Riverfront Park, was one of those projects which has received funding. Actually, one of the first that was awarded. So we're very thankful for the West Quadrant TIF. I think it's the Citizen Advisory Committee for awarding those fundings to this project. And as a note, they also awarded some funding last year for Dutch Jake's Park. So they've been a great partner. Really, the general fund has been a huge contributor to making this project happen.
I think this is such a great example of the partnerships that Parks has developed to accomplish things that we would not be able to do on our own. So any other questions, comments? Then I will move we approve the Garco Construction North Suspension Bridge renovation construction contract in the amount of $2,129,949, tax inclusive.
I will second that.
All right, thank you. Any further questions?
Great. Good. Looking forward to getting started on this.
Indeed. All right, we will put that up for vote then. All those in favor respond with aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Unanimous. Well done, Nick.
Thank you very much.
And I guess you're not going very far because now you have the Avista action item.
Yes, of course. For those who aren't aware, there's a lot of power run underneath these bridges, and it's been part of the reason why we haven't been able to maintain them in the past. What you see here in front of you is a portion of our budget, which is what we have designated Avista construction. We commonly enter electric service agreements with Avista for electric services throughout the park system. This is one of those agreements. Of course, the difference here is that while they're only normally a few $1,000s, this is quite a bit more than that at about $192,000. What that covers is actually pulling the electrical lines out from underneath the bridges, both the north and the south suspension bridges, and then routing them temporarily where you see this purple line, setting 3 new power poles, one on San Jimena, West Havermill, and then on the north bank, and actually bypassing the bridge so that we can have power on the north bank of Spokane for the entire duration of the project. Of course, I'm sure all of the residents and businesses on the north bank of the river, including the arena who's administering COVID shots right now, would all appreciate having power uninterrupted. So this is a really key part of making this project happen, essentially pulling those power lines out, temporarily installing them, letting us repair the bridge. And once we're complete, they'll also come back and they'll remove all this temporary overhead power. And it is worth noting that this will result in some overhead power lines across the river and across the falls for the duration of the project, albeit that'll be temporary. Any questions on the Avista work? All right. I'll turn it back over to you, Bob.
All right. If no questions, I will move we approve the electric service agreement with Avista for temporary power required for the North Suspension Bridge renovation work in the amount of $192,233 and no tax.
I'll second that, Bob.
Thanks, Sherry.
There's an additional 40 cents. Not that that's a big deal. We need to make sure we get the amount right.
Ooh, I don't have 40 cents on this.
Oh. Well, it's on my agenda, but maybe not.
I do. So we'll make sure it's there, Jennifer.
I'll make sure. If not, I'll contribute that 40 cents and make it up.
To Terry at the Parks Foundation.
So anyway, if no further questions, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That also passes. Nick, thank you for your presentations. So our final action item, Al's going to take us away on an MOU, and I'll turn it over to you, Al.
All right. Thanks, Bob. Good afternoon, Park Board. In your packet, you'll find a briefing paper for renewal and update to a previous MOU with the Associated Garden Clubs of Spokane. Steve Nidelow and Kevin Brownlee, along with other representatives of the Associated Garden Club, has been working on this for several months, actually. And even Garrett and Jennifer Ogden have been involved a little bit here recently to help us get this over the hump. Essentially, the agreement allows the Parks Department to provide access to areas of facilities and the use of grounds at Manitou Park in order for the AGC to pursue their mission in keeping with the horticultural focus of the park. The new thing this year, the new great addition that we're really excited about, is the agreement will allow us to work with the AGC to act as a fiscal sponsor in taking donations at no cost to the Parks Department to assist with enhancements and programs for the department. And that's, again, a new twist that kind of came forward this year, and we're pretty excited about that addition to the MOU. The MOU would start upon approval of the Park Board today. It would go for 3 years through 2024. And we'd have the option of 2 additional 1-year options not to exceed an overall term of 5 years. So that's the MOU in a nutshell. Typically, we don't even bring that many MOUs through the full Park Board, but we are excited about some of the changes here, and we wanted to make sure that they were highlighted and fully approved by the Park Board through this process. So I'm definitely open for any questions, or I'm sure Garrett or Jennifer or even Kevin could help with some questions as well.
So Al, during the term of the if it goes up to the 5 years, that no administrative fee will be enacted or will be set for the whole 5 years?
Correct. It'll carry through the full term, including the renewals.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a comment for you, Al. This is Jerry. I mentioned this in finance, and I'll try to make it shorter right now, but this is huge. And the reason I think it is we just don't focus, I think, enough on how many people would love to contribute or who do by just what you see with the Friends of Manitou. And the allowance of this entity being a part of that avenue is huge. Because as I mentioned before, there's so much more involved because there's so many things on the other end. For instance, if you buy or sponsor a bench, if you will, there's an extra cost that's already within that ad. And that happens because of all the work and the effort that has to take place in putting these things in to whatever spot that the donor has selected. So kudos to the AGC and Kevin. It's nice to see you here, and we saw Steve at Finance. So anyway, thanks. This I feel was indeed a real team effort.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Any other comments? Any thoughts on it?
I would suggest a friendly amendment to the fiscal sponsorship section just to avoid donor confusion, which would be to assist in enhancements and programs agreed upon by Spokane Park Department and Associated Garden Club, so that people don't have the impression they can initiate a project with a donation, that it's supporting projects and programs that have already been approved by both parties.
I believe we can accommodate that request, Kevin.
Yep, I would second that friendly amendment.
Okay.
So just a little background, folks. Associated Garden Club has been around for a long time, since 1933. Started the Lilac Parade in 38, Lilac Festival Association in 52, and actually had one of the early park board members from its board on the park board. That was Polly Judd. So it's always been a little tiny organization with a little fundraiser, but it does a lot of good work with small groups and groups of citizens that normally can't qualify for grants in other places. For example, wanting to take a graffitied area and make a nice mural out of it, or contributing to school or community gardens, to the Shade Cloth in the Geyser Conservatory, to sprucing up the Civic Theater, or providing gardens for the Women and Children's Free Restaurant and social service agencies. So it does a lot of little things around town. It's small but mighty. And I think AGC is looking forward to this partnership because it wants to grow its membership, as well as the same thing that FOM wants to do. So this seems to be the volunteer organization meeting.
All right, thank you. If no further questions, comments,
we do have a second. Yep, sorry. Pamela had asked if we had a second on that motion. And
I thought we did.
We did. I think it was me.
I thought it was you, yes.
Okay.
So hopefully I will say this correctly, but I will move we approve the Associated Garden Clubs of Spokane Memorandum of Understanding as presented with the amendment submitted by Kevin. Does that work?
That works.
How about a second then on that?
All right.
All right, I'll second it.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right, then we'll put that up for vote. All those in favor? Aye.
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 All those opposed? Aye. All those opposed? All right, thank you, Al. That passed. Well done. All right, the Finance Committee, I'll briefly sum up the meeting. The Finance Committee met April 6th via WebEx. We did have the 5 action items. They were reviewed and passed on to today's board meeting for final approval. The KPFF Consulting Engineers Amendment was submitted as a consent item. 2 of the action items focused on the North Suspension Bridge, while the other 2 provided MOUs illustrating and highlighting different pathways for Parks fundraising efforts. Mark Bunig presented the March financials, which illustrate positive financial results through the first quarter. Using the template developed last year for managing temporary salaries has resulted in a substantial salary savings, which has offset our revenue reductions. The next finance meeting will be May 11th at 3 p.m.
Great. Well, thank you, Bob. So we'll move on to the Bylaws Committee. Now, the Bylaws Committee did not meet this past month. They, in fact, met in January. But the first reading of the bylaws was in March, and we always have 2 readings so that you all have time to pick apart the bylaws and really look at them if you need to. And again, the changes to the bylaws were the following: to add the Joint Arts and Development and Volunteer Committees as committees of the Park Board, to add edits to provide gender-neutral language and minor clarifications and grammatical corrections, and to clarify how proposed amendments are to be presented to the Park Board. That was Hannah's work, and that will come into play at our next action item. And then to add emergency provisions to temporarily suspend or amend bylaws if necessary. So these are just the changes that we're making. And at this point, I would like to move approval of those changes formally. Do I have a second on that motion?
Yes, I'll second them.
I'll second it. Well, I actually have Jerry and Sally seconding at the same time. So we then have the motion approving the proposed amendments as presented. Any further discussion or comment, questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Great. Thank you. All right. Our second item under the Bylaws Committee has to do with deciding a matter of quorum for urban forestry. Now, we had decided the quorum for other committees, but urban forestry is unique in that it has a smaller configuration and has members of a citizen advisory committee present. So it was decided that under section 16.2 of the bylaws that we would clarify that quorum for urban forestry would be 2 people of the park board. Do I have a second on that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, and Sally also seconded, 2 seconds. Any further discussion or questions? The reason this is coming forward is that, first of all, Hannah clarified for us how you could make amendments to the bylaws at a park board meeting, and in fact, an issue came up after the bylaws committee meeting, and that was this case. So, all right, hearing no other questions or concerns, I'll move that we amend the language to section 16.2 for urban forestry as presented. All those in favor say aye.
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 No opposition. Hannah, thank you again for your work on that, and that motion carries. All right. She dived right in. I tell you, we put her to work the minute she joined the party. All right. So, Bob, now we go back to you with our new Development and Volunteer Committee, which had its first meeting.
Yes, the DVC, or Development and Volunteer Committee, we met on March 30th via WebEx, and we had an action item, and that was to develop and submit for approval a mission statement, goals, and objectives. Fiona developed a presentation collecting and condensing the input we provided from the initial meeting relating to this action item, and we'll be submitting that for approval today. So, Fiona, if you can take this away and go ahead with your presentation.
Sure, Bob. Thank you. So, as Bob mentioned, this is our, what I guess you could probably call a charter for this new committee. We felt like it was important to establish kind of a set mission and then some goals and objectives towards this end. This project, I believe this committee is very kind of broad and all-encompassing in a lot of ways, and so we wanted to really make sure we were defining the important work happening here. So the mission that the committee landed on was the purpose of the Development Volunteer Committee is to help guide fundraising priorities, both capital and programmatic, and to enhance the growth and coordination of the Friends of Volunteer groups who work to fulfill those priorities that have been established. So to that end, the committee came up with 3 goals. One is to guide and support Parks and Recreation's capital and programming fundraising priorities. A second is to serve as a facilitator amongst the Friends of groups. And then a third is to foster the creation and growth of new Friends of groups primarily to begin with a Friends of Riverfront group. So in breaking each of those down a little bit, the group came up with some objectives to help obtain those 3 goals. So for the first goal, to guide and support Parks and Rec's capital programming fundraising priorities, the idea was to develop an annual fundraising priority list for capital and program projects, of course in concert with Parks and Recreation leadership and then this full park board. To develop a fundraising master plan and create toolkits that would be needed to support this work, and then to utilize all of your connections to solicit potential donors. The second goal, serving as a facilitator amongst those Friends of groups, might involve a few of these items: centralized MOU agreements for consistency, creating a citizens advisory committee that would be comprised of representatives from each of our Friends of groups. And this would really do a number of things. It would increase coordination between those Friends of groups, would provide for shared resources, management, ideas, marketing, and support. Our goal as a DVC would be to support Friends fundraising efforts and then to support communication with their staff liaisons and appropriate committees. So we would maintain those staff liaison roles as they are in place. And then the third goal, fostering the creation of and growth of new Friends of groups, the primary focus, at least to begin with, would be to create a Friends of Riverfront Park. And Bob will talk about that a little bit more. So in terms of the structure of the DVC, it would function as a special committee to the park board, similar to Joint Arts. So all future actions would come through a regular committee like Land or Riverfront before reaching the board. Bringing this mission and goals is really the exception to that. And then the membership, again, similar to JAC, would be comprised of both standing park board members and then non-park board members. I think the idea for non-park board members would be one representative from that citizen advisory group that's made up of Friends of representatives, and then 3 business or community members at large who have an interest in Parks and Recreation. So unless there are questions, Bob, I'll pass it back to you for the action item. Further discussion?
Thank you, Fiona. Well done. I want to thank you again for your effort in developing the presentation and collecting all of our information and kind of coalescing it into that very precise presentation. So any questions, thoughts? I would assume there'd be some over what we're doing since this is a brand new committee.
So I wanted to draw Kelly Brown's attention to this. I'm glad she's still here on the call. Because, Kelly, your organization would be welcome to have a representative on the Citizen Advisory Committee that would then feed into the Development and Volunteer Committee. And the idea of that Citizen Advisory Committee is to, again, share information amongst Friends groups. So if, for example, you want Friends of the Bluff to know about your plant sale, that can be facilitated through that group, through that communication venue. Similarly, if Friends of Manitou Park want to help usher at a concert at Riverfront Park and serve as volunteer crowd monitors, that could be a possibility for fun activities. So this kind of coordination amongst the different Friends groups is what the DVC would oversee, and then what the Citizen Advisory Committee as an entity feeding into the DVC would provide in terms of input, ideas, energy, that kind of thing. So I would invite you to participate on that level.
Would love that.
I think it's
the right answer.
It's certainly an exciting group that has basically unlimited potential. It's evolving. What we approved today, certainly as this group is established, the goals will change, I'm sure. We currently have the 4 park board members. We don't have the other 4 members to this group. But anyway, I appreciate everyone's efforts to get us started this far. So if there are no questions or comments, I will move that we approve the Development and Volunteer Committee mission statement, goals, and objectives as presented. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that,
Kevin.
Well, thank you. Any questions then? Any comments? If none, then all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It passes unanimously. Again, I appreciate everyone's efforts with this. Fiona mentioned also that we did discuss the Friends of Riverfront Park at this meeting. There won't be a direct connection to Friends of Riverfront Park and the DVC in the future, but currently the members are looking to help get it started. So Fiona's got a couple of slides. If we can take it away from there, we'll discuss some of our thoughts. So our first thought as we have gone through a couple of meetings is we want to recruit a core leadership group interested in helping create and build a roadmap for the Friends of Riverfront. We plan to ask board and staff for suggestions of a core leadership group. And this is where we want Friends of Riverfront to start. We want this leadership group that represents the community well. And then we want to ask their thoughts on how do we proceed next. So we'll consult with that core leadership group to develop plans to recruit the Friends of Riverfront volunteers. This will include specialized segments like for events, volunteer coordination, fundraising, and others. So this will not strictly be a fundraising group, although that will be one of the factors, one of the duties, segments, whatever that they go into. And these are simply examples of potential segments, and we certainly will coordinate with park staff before moving ahead. I think we all know how loved Riverfront Park is in the city, and not just the city, but the surrounding area. And we might be amazed at the amount of people, once the word gets out, that want to be members of Friends of Riverfront Park. So again, we'll start with our leadership group. We'll get that developed. Then we'll work with John and the staff at Riverfront to start the recruiting of millions of volunteers. At least, right? Okay, then.
Don't panic, John.
I think John just fell over. I thought I heard.
I think you did.
We'll settle for $500,000, John. So we're going to add 4 public members to the DVC, and that's going to match the 4 park board members. We'll develop a citizens advisory council. I know Jennifer has already talked about that, and that will be made up of representatives from friends groups. We might go with some of the neighborhood groups. You know, again, these will be evolving. And from there, we'll develop our Friends of Riverfront organizational structure. From that, officers will be selected. And then we will implement the Friends of Riverfront volunteer recruitment. And again, since these are all up in the air, this recruitment could take place before we have the DVC and the Citizens Advisory Council completed. You know, we're trying to put 3 really new committees, 3 segments together, all at the same time, and yet they're all interrelated somewhat. So we'll see how it works out, and hopefully everyone will bear with us on this. We don't have our next DVC committee meeting scheduled, so we will take it from there. I think a lot of it, I know Jennifer has some thoughts on the recruitment letter that she's developed. I don't know if that's in your presidential report, and I don't want to steal your thunder. So.
No, thank you. I wasn't going to read the letter, so to speak, but I'll talk a little bit more in my president's report. So, thank you, Bob. Thank you.
All I have.
So Bob let me draft him to chair this, and I appreciate his willingness to be drafted. So anybody have any other questions before we move on? All right. So my president's report is fairly short. Number one, to feed off of what Bob was talking about, I would encourage any of the public who are listening, who are interested in adopting or being a steward of Riverfront Park, to let Parks and Rec know of your interest. You know, I would love to see a Friends of group in every park, including neighborhood parks in Spokane. I think parks need adopting, and I think all it takes is 3 interested community members to say, hey, well, I care about this park, I want to watch over it and help where I can and be a partner with Parks and Rec. So I would encourage anybody out there who's thinking along those lines to form a Friends group for their park, let Parks and Rec know, and we will do what we can to support and shepherd you along. The other topic in my president's report has to do with meetings. I think Kevin wanted to say something, but I know that there's been some talk as we progress, hopefully, and stay in phase 3 and maybe go on into phase 4, that some of these COVID restrictions can be lifted, and then we'll see what kind of meetings we have. I know there's one vote on the park board to stay virtual for basically all meetings except the general park board meeting, the Channel 5 televised one. Some of that has to do with logistics, and another person on the park board has let me know that he wants every meeting to be in person. So we have one vote for each type, and you all need to let me know how you feel, and we'll see what the technology allows and go from there. So if we don't have anything else, any questions for me, I will turn it to Greta Gilman for Conservation Futures.
Hi, everyone. Yes, the Land Evaluation Committee is trying to meet again on April 15th. And one of the things I believe we're doing is approving the nomination process to go to the Board of County Commissioners once we approve it. Currently, the proposed schedule for nominating properties for Conservation Futures is May 1st through July 31st, assuming that schedule gets approved. So if anybody has any property they want to nominate or any questions, please let me know. Thanks.
All right. Barb Ritchie, Parks Foundation.
Well, hello and good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to have Terry help me just in case I miss anything. I was not available to attend the Parks Foundation board, but I can tell you there was somebody from the Riverfront Park and Parks and Rec that did probably a better job than I ever could, and her name is Amy Lindsay. So Amy was a guest presenter and shared the Riverfront Park team's mission with the board and gave some numbers around the 2019 events, 650 events with nearly 300,000 people. And she just did an overlay of all the new and exciting things that are going to happen in the park this year, and gave a sneak peek about fall and even into winter events. So like I said, I wasn't able to be at the meeting. So Terry, if there's anything that you would like to add, please do. And I promise to be at the next meeting.
Well, we promise to look forward to seeing you again. So, and we do understand life is what happens when you make other plans. So thank you for your commitment to the Parks Foundation. First of all, I just want to reiterate, Amy gave a beautiful presentation, and our volunteer board of directors were inspired and very intrigued and interested to see how they should be thinking about plugging into some of these events. And we've got some great marketing ideas moving forward with regard to additional campaign projects, including the dog park, but not limited to the Fence Charms. I can tell you that since we beefed up our marketing campaign in Riverfront Park, we sell 1 to 5 little Fence Charms a day. So we're starting to really gain some momentum and get some traction there. We will plan to be a part of the spring markets. And just really many, many thanks to John and his fantastic team, because it really took all of us coming together to sort through how to best articulate and get the messaging out. And he just has a really, really talented team, and he's a great leader. In addition to that, the other items that I think might be of most interest to the park board is that we had a Make a Splash in a Kids Life Committee report, a Drowning Prevention Coalition report, as well as a Grants Committee report. And so I'm pleased to say that we are awarding the City of Spokane almost $11,000 in swim scholarships and $5,400 in drowning prevention clinic funding. In addition to that, there will be a $5,000 grant going to benefit therapeutic rec services, as well as recreational summer camps, with the caveat that we have a number of grants that are out right now that we're just waiting to hear back. We've always been funded by these partners. And so as some of those dollars for kids in parks and pools become available, we're going to go back to our partners, namely City of Spokane, the county, Spokane Valley, and Cheney, and say, okay, you submitted a number of letters of inquiry let's go back to your original list. What's changed? What hasn't? And we plan to really kind of have a more modified, little looser, more flexible grants committee in 2021. We feel like we have to in order to meet the needs. In addition to that, we became aware through our Splash partners that there's going to be a very significant shortage of lifeguards this year. And so as a result of that, we know that they're going to need a significant amount of funding for recertifications and for certification of new lifeguards, just in order to be able to open the pools in a safe way when it is the opportunity for them. And so we approved additionally $12,500 for discounted lifeguard certification, recertifications. And we anticipate $5,000 to $7,000 of that will most likely go to the city of Spokane to offset some of those of their future employees and current employees who want to come back and be employed at schools, that will help them through that process. We fully acknowledge that we lost almost all of our lifeguards last year because the aquatics facilities countywide were unable to open. So in addition to that, we did apply for $40,000 through the Innovia Foundation, specifically for the lifeguard training program. And so we anticipate hearing the outcome of that request. Again, we worked with Josh Oakes, we worked with Sarah at the county, with our friends in Cheney, our friends in the city of Spokane Valley. In addition to that, we worked with Greg Smith out of Eastern Washington. All of these really intelligent people who truly are the resident experts are the ones who helped guide us and hone and focus that language that went into that grant proposal. And we feel like everyone's really ready for the pool specifically to be open this summer. And we think that we stand a good chance of that funding. So if anyone has any questions, go ahead. Sorry, Barb.
No, thanks, Terry. I was just going to also say, and they provided the financial in your appendix for the board report. So thank you for doing that as well.
Very good.
Wow, Terry, thank you for all of that. Woohoo, you made it rain today. I mean, other than the way it was raining outside. So, okay.
Well, it is our pleasure, and we are thrilled. Thank you all so much for approving the MOU. I know it was about a 2+ year process, and it really helped kind of define what the Spokane Parks Foundation will be in the future. And the fact that we now are a little more flexible and have a little bit more motion, I think it's going to be a very good thing for all. So thank you all for what you provided for us today as well.
Good deal. All righty. So, Councilmember Cathcart, here's your moment in the sun, in the park board sun. Anything to add?
Yeah, good afternoon. No, nothing too much to add. I was just going to mention that, I was really pleased to participate in that first meeting of the master planning process, and I thought that went really well, and I'm really excited to see what comes from that. I am advocating really hard to see kind of a big, bold, audacious goal of mine maybe come true through this process, which would be to develop or cultivate a major park in Northeast Spokane, which is where my district is, and obviously near and dear to my heart. And it's an area of town that really lacks a major park at this point in time too. So I think it'd be something really beneficial. Something like Minnehaha perhaps could be a great location, just given its size and closeness to Beacon Hill and other amenities like that. So that's a big important thing that I'm really looking forward to trying to advocate for, as well as just improving our whole park system and the parks across the city. And then I also just wanted to mention too, I had a chance along with my assistant Shay to I guess we call it sneak in and check out the new playground there on the North Bank. And it's really, really neat to see it. And I will admit, I did go down one of the slides and it was a lot of fun. But it's really well constructed. It's going to be a really neat area there at the park for kids to play. And I'm really excited to see that get opened up. And someday I really look forward to being able to take my son there. So I think it'll be a really neat addition to Riverfront Park. So I'll leave it there.
Great. I wish. Did anybody get video of you going down that slide?
There may or may not be video.
I was actually just putting that in the chat. Yes, there is video of Councilman Cathcart going down the slide.
It'll be live tonight on the news.
I think that should be definitely a PR piece. Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad. He said yes. You all are witnesses. Okay, excellent.
That's great.
And, you know, I'm sure that council members are allowed to create friends groups for parks that need to be developed in northeast sections. So just a little plug there. Great, great. All right. Well, Garrett Jones, now is your moment.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Well, thanks for the great meeting and just the spirit of partnerships. I wanted to brief the board on one of these fantastic plans that the staff have been working on here since the windstorm in January. And we were able to launch our windstorm restoration plan. And when we talk about partnerships, many of you are familiar with the Spokane initiative that we partner with the Lands Council. So this was a natural fit for our restoration plans and that initiative of replanting the trees that we lost plus some. And so this great relationship the staff worked on, Angel, Katie, Al, and others. And what this restoration plan will be is we'll be looking at a 2-to-1 ratio of replanting our trees that we lost during the January windstorm. So that's upwards of 400 trees. We're going to look at diversity of different types of trees in those areas. And one of the unique pieces we're going to be looking at as well is around water conservation as well. So is there opportunities in these plantings to be able to convert what was traditionally maintained watered turf grass and then transforming that into a more of a native setting like we did in Manitou Park. And throughout, we'll be focusing, of course, we saw a huge devastation at Comstock Park, but also looking at a system-wide approach as well. And so plantings will start this spring and then in fall as well, because those are optimal planting times for us and the success rate for planting trees. One of the great creative ways that we did this to help seed some of this funding is through our cleanup efforts. We entered into contracts with local mills and haulers for our logs. And after taking the cost away for the hauling costs, we were able to net around $21,000 of revenue from the logs that we received in the park. So that's going to go back into that restoration plan as that seed. And then another piece of that as well is partnering with Chris Bovey, one of the local artists in the vintage prints. He produced a print for us for Comstock Park. And through this program, all proceeds of that print and those costs go back into that restoration plan as well. And then Lands Council, with their expertise, is going to help us coordinate volunteers. They'll have a platform on their website for the donations as well. So great collaborative effort to take this momentum and then really becomes this long-term initiative that we'll be able to work on in the future. So great news there. Some other items as well. I really want to thank Councilmember Cathcart, the mayor, and other council members around partnerships and collaboration. So we're going to see a couple items come to council here shortly. Next Monday night, I will be presenting the aquatics resolution to fund the gap to take us beyond that foundational model. So really expand that open swim to support that funding gap. And that'll be in front of council this coming Monday night on the 12th. On the 19th of April, we'll be briefing the council on windstorm damage and support as well, with seed money just to really help us accelerate some of those capital repairs that we need and maintenance repairs that we need as a result of the windstorm. So that really puts us forward, and their support is very grateful to get us ahead of the game so we can make those necessary repairs and capital repairs for the future. The other two is, believe it or not, we'll start here shortly too with staff and working with the board on 2022 budget priorities, timelines, potential funding gaps, and operational efficiencies as well as we look forward, to really hitting the ground running hard for 2022. Also, at the same time, we've done a great job of, cutting back on some of our staffing to really help with those lost revenues that we receive. But with that comes deferred maintenance, operations, deferred capital. So identifying those priorities and working with the board as opportunities potentially come our way to be able to accelerate some projects and programs. We want to make sure that we're hitting the ground running and we can identify what those deferred items are, and so we can address those in a timely manner. And then also, Councilmember Cathcart briefed this too on the North Bank. We're excited. We're on the home stretch with the North Bank Regional Playground and all the great amenities and partners that we have there. And so information will be coming to the board here shortly on tentative opening dates, and timing couldn't be any better to really hit the spring and the momentum of Parks and Recreation and being able to open up that North Bank to the public. So with that, is end of report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Garrett. So we have much to do in the upcoming months, and as spring and hopefully the COVID phases allow us to expand what we're able to offer, I look forward to a busy spring and summer season in Parks and Rec. This brings us to the end of our meeting. Does anybody have anything else for the good of the order? Hearing nothing, I want to thank you all for your time and have a good weekend. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. See everyone. Take good care.